Hey everyone, it's Tracy Martirana here from Holistic Wellness with Tracy. Thank you for joining me. Today I wanted to share with you this idea of making an herbal tea bath. When it's the middle of winter and it's freezing cold out, I love to take a nice hot bath in the evening just to warm myself up. But I've also found that taking a nice cooling bath in the summer is equally as enjoyable. If you're going to be soaking in the bathtub, you might as well also get a little bit of herbal goodness from the process. Our skin is our largest organ. It absorbs all kinds of things from our environment, which sometimes is bad, but when it comes to herbal goodness, it's a very handy thing. You can make your bath an herbal remedy by simply adding herbs to your bath. Now, I call it an herbal tea bath because really you need the herbs to become a tea, to pull out the medicinal healing qualities of the herbs. So today I want to talk about a few sort of common herbs that you might want to use and a couple simple ways that you could create this herbal bath. Now, if you want more information, either more herb ideas or just more ideas of how to do this, be sure to check out my blog post on the topic. I will put a link down in the description box. Let's start with the herbs. Now, there is just a few tried and true herbs that whenever you're talking about skincare, or really anything just coming into contact with your skin, these herbs are always going to pop up high on the list. The very first one is chamomile. Now, chamomile, we've all heard of it, right? It's great for headaches, it's great for stress, it's great for sleep. It is just a calming, soothing herb. So therefore, it is the number one go-to herb for me whenever really I'm making tea, or if I'm making a bath, or if I'm making an herbal lotion. Pretty much anything that I'm going to do, I'm always going to use chamomile. I use it all the time. And I shouldn't say always, there are exceptions. Not everything, is all about chamomile. But it is such a lovely herb, and I wish you could smell it. Because when you have really good, say freshly dried chamomile, like from an herb store and not necessarily from your grocery store, the smell of it is so delicious. It's got a little bit of like this appley freshness, but it's just yummy. Now, all you really need is chamomile to make this herbal tea bath, and you will have a wonderful experience. It's soothing to your skin, it's soothing to your mind, so it's a win-win. If you have any sort of skin issues, whether it's dry skin or scratches or something more serious like eczema or psoriasis, typically chamomile will help calm it down. There are exceptions. Some people do have allergies to things like chamomile, so if you're one of those people, then don't use it. But for the rest of us, it is a great herb to use. Can't stop smelling it. The next one I'm going to mention is also very common, very easy to get, very easy to grow yourself, and that is lavender. I just have some loose lavender here. Smells amazing. Wish you could smell it. Again, soothing to both your body and your mind. So adding some lavender to this herbal tea for your bath is a great addition. If you don't have dried lavender, for one, maybe next year you should plant some in your garden, and then you can just dry the flowers and have lavender for the rest of the year. Or you can just buy like a lavender essential oil. That works really well in this situation. If I take a bath, I almost always, if I do nothing else, I almost always add a couple drops of lavender oil to my bath just because it smells so nice. Herb number 3 that I want to talk about is calendula. Now this, if you see this plant growing outside. The flowers are beautiful. They're like this bright yellowy orange, like a variety of shades in between there. Daisy-like flowers, and the petals are what you use. And I always like to mention this because even though a lot of people don't have this handy, like, they're not growing it in the yard, or if they are, they're not thinking to dry it. But if you come across almost any like herby skincare thing at any store, whether it's just a Walgreens, your grocery store, or whether you're going to like a nice homemade, like a shop with homemade herbal remedies, almost everything for your skin is going to have calendula in it because it's so soothing and calming to your skin. So if you have dry skin issues, anything, it's just great for your skin. So put this in your bath if you have it. The next two I'm going to mention might not be as common to have on hand, but they're equally as nice. So if you're interested in them, you might want to make a point of getting them. Now the first one is called Self-Heal. That's what I call it anyways. I can't remember what the real name of it is. But this is just these little purple flowers that grow out probably in your yard. They're probably always there. If you just pop out and take a look during the summer, you can probably find them. This is actually you can see this whole jar is full. This is Self-Heal that I harvested this summer. All throughout the summer, just whenever I walked out into the grass, I would pick some of the flowers and bring them in and dry them. Self-Heal, just what it sounds like. If you have been outside, maybe working in the yard so that you have scrapes and, if you're pruning something thorny, scrapes on your hands, your legs, or maybe you have a crazy cat, whatever the reason for your scrapes might be, this is very soothing to any skin injury. So making a tea with this will help your body heal. And the last one I'm going to mention is white willow bark. Now this I buy from an herb store, so chances are you're probably not going to have it, but it tends to react on the body the way like aspirin or ibuprofen does. It is anti-inflammatory, and it also offers some pain relief. So if you have like achy joints, or you have skin like injuries like scratches and scrapes, putting some of that in your bath tea, also a good idea. And like I mentioned earlier, there are many other options. I will include some of them in the blog post, so go check it out. Now, let's say you've chosen the herbs you want to use. How do you make this herb tea bath? There are several ways. All depends on what you have on hand and how you want to do this. Now, one of the easiest ways to do it is to take your herbs, put them in a muslin bag. This is a pretty small muslin bag, so I would probably do a couple of these, like fill them about halfway up with my herb mixture, whatever I decide to use. Tighten them off, tie the knot so that the herbs don't flow out too much in your bath. You could put herbs right in your bathtub, but then you somehow have to clean that out before you open the drain, because you don't want to clog your drain with all of these dried herbs. So put them in a bag, or even a piece of cloth, or maybe cheesecloth, or just an old like rag, like a piece of t-shirt. You could make your own little bag of just piece of fabric, pile of herbs on top, kind of cinch it all together, tie a string around it, and you have your own sort of homemade bag. That works very well. I also have these paper tea bags that I purchased a while back. This is a large one, so they make smaller ones that are like the size of the tea bags that you would buy in the store. These ones are larger. They're meant to do like a pot of tea, so you'd put your loose tea in here. You actually just seal the edge with a iron, so a hot iron seals it up, and then you could either make a pot of tea or an herbal tea bath. Now the other option is, if you don't have these and you don't want to get too crazy with your herbs, maybe you just want to try out chamomile and see how it goes, you can just go to the grocery store and buy some chamomile tea in a tea bag. and then put maybe a few tea bags in your bath. That would work. Now, when it comes to making the herbal tea bath, if you're using something like a tea bag or a muslin bag, you can just start running hot water in your bathtub. And then as the hot water starts to run, pop this in and let it sort of create its own tea right in the bathtub. And then, let the water stay hot for a little bit and then change the temperature to a more appropriate setting, right? You don't want to take a boiling hot bath. That would be counterproductive. So start filling up the tub with some hot water, let the tea sort of steep. You might even stop the water for a little bit to let the herbs sit and steep, and then start it back up to fill it up. Even in the summer, if you want a cooler bath, you can start with some pretty hot water and get a couple inches going, and then just add cold water to it, and it will still be a cool bath. But if putting tea bags in your bathtub just doesn't do it for you, either it doesn't feel strong enough, or you just want to try a different method, maybe you're worried about the loose tea, like maybe you're worried about the bag breaking, and then you have all of this loose tea in your tub that you have to fish out. If you don't want to deal with that at all, you can try a French press. So you can simply add a bunch of your tea herbs to your French press, pour in boiling water, stir it around, let it sit for 5-10 minutes to steep, and then you just press it down, and all of the herbs stay at the bottom, and then the rest is filled with tea, and then you can just dump this tea into your bath water, and there you go. So obviously the more herbs or the more tea you add, the stronger it will be. But the idea here is not to have it super strong. Your body is going to absorb what it needs. It'll take it in from the water. And then the sort of the beauty of an herbal tea bath is it's more gentle than taking like capsules for certain, but even more gentle than drinking an herbal tea, right? Because you're not ingesting it directly into your body. It's got to go through your skin. But if you want to up the dosage of the herbs that you're getting, you can make a big bag of herbs for your bathtub, and then maybe also make a cup of that same tea to drink while you're soaking. It's up to you. Again, think common sense when you're talking about dosage of herbs. If you're using something that you have never ingested before, like if all of a sudden you decide, hey, I'm going to try that white willow bark that I have never heard of before, for one, do some research on any new herb before you take it. Don't just trust what I say. Look it up and make sure that it sounds like it makes sense for you, because just because the herbs and they're all natural doesn't mean they're safe for everybody. Every herb is essentially a medicine, and it's going to have some side effects. It's going to have some people that just shouldn't take it because of maybe a medication you're on or another health issue that you have. So always do your research, and then think about, if it's brand new to you, start with just the bath. If it's something like chamomile that you've experimented with a lot, you feel very comfortable with, then yes, put it in your bath and drink it at the same time and knock yourself out. Just always use caution. Thanks so much for joining me. It was wonderful to have you here. Remember, I release a new video every week on healthy recipes, herbal remedies, yoga, meditation, Ayurveda, everything you need to live a healthy, happy, and balanced life. Don't forget to try an herbal bath as soon as possible. Your body will thank you.